Hello everyone, hello, namaste, and welcome to the short answer. So it is a great blessing to be with you here today in our short answer, and in a studio that's almost finished, almost there, but we're just wanting to project from here today to seed a new energy and to anchor a new beginning. Because today is a new day, and we're about to have a conversation about that. But first, I think there are a couple of announcements I'm supposed to make to let all of you know, to remind you that we are doing BodyAwake yoga tomorrow morning. If you are a member in the BodyAwake program, hallelujah, we get to have another day tomorrow. And if you're not a part of our BodyAwake yoga program, you might want to check in with us and sign up for that before tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock Eastern Time, because we do amazing integrative processes while on the yoga mat. So it's about learning how to embody the energy codes coursework and awakening the circuitry inside your system all at the same time. So it's a pretty groovy thing, which I love to do. So I'll spend an hour and a half with you talking, teaching as we go through different asanas. And if you're new to yoga, don't worry about it. We make it user-friendly, and there's something there for everyone, for sure. Okay, there is also coming up on Thursday, January 28th, next Thursday, the monthly healing transmission, which I absolutely love to do. It is a non-doing, right? It's an offering and a stewarding of some of the most refined energy that we have access to on this planet. And so if you are a part of that, you know that it's free. If you're not a part of that, join us at monthlyhealingtransmission.com, monthlyhealingtransmission.com, and bring your friends. Because what we're doing is building a tremendous grid of consciousness around the planet on a regular basis, and we are stabilizing some of the aspects of the mind field that are certainly under destabilization right now, but the destabilization, of course, is in our favor. And I really want you guys to be able to embody that, to know, to walk and talk as though that's true in your life, because it is. And we'd love for that to be a part of your life. So the healing transmission next Thursday, a week from tomorrow. Also, I'm offering the Energy Codes Level 3 online as a modulated course, not all in a weekend, but 7 classes through starting February 2nd and through the end of March. So it will be the month of February and March that we are diving into the deep studies of the advanced coursework of the Energy Codes. So I welcome you to inquire about that if you haven't already. We have a lot of people participating in that already this year and are super thrilled about bringing this advanced work to you. Okay, so lastly, the Level 1 live stream weekend is at the end of February. So if you haven't taken the coursework and you really like to jump in on that, in these final days of February 26, 27, 28, we will be starting a round of people. We have many people that have come all the way through the coursework this year because of being online. They were able to. And so if that would be you, being able to plug into a broadcast from home, where you might not have been able to travel to the United States or travel across the country, wherever we're holding those courses, now might be your time to really dive into a series of courses that allow you to learn to build the circuitry underneath the story of your life. We are in the midst of an amazing opportunity to do that. There is so much story, and it is so thick. And I'm not saying that it's not real. It's very real. But there's a level that the mind interprets those happenings that we want to learn how to dive underneath and work with something that is more stable, more unwavering, actually eternal. And when we begin to learn to do that on a regular basis, we can feel and sense in an instant when something other than that is starting to happen, when we're starting to splat or disperse our energies or disempower ourselves by giving it away to some past story or some current circumstance in your life or some feared upon set of circumstances in the future. None of that is real, and all of it is here to be reckoned with by you. And you keep returning to this planet to master it, so why not start at the end of February getting really good at that? It's been an amazing, joyful ride in my life and a wonderful, transformative experience for so many. Thousands and thousands of people that have been through this coursework, and so many that return and hold the space. Many times I receive correspondence from someone who says that they've been studying this work for 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years and celebrate with me the ways that their lives have changed because of that. So perhaps it's time for you to jump in and allow that to be true for you too. Alumni, you're welcome, of course, to pop in for free. Just let us know and we'll send you the link and keep that happening for you. Part of the Alumni Pass, this program that I have, is once people go through a course, they can come into a program that allows them to return to many of those courses for free or for greatly reduced fees so that we can keep this community alive. You know, my number one intention is to build a conscious community, and it has been for about 2 decades now. And it's been happening in a beautiful, integrated, grounded sense. So the people that we engage in this coursework with, and the people that you engage with inside of this community, on large part are extraordinarily stable, grounded, wonderful, awakened people. And those that struggle with that find a way to grow and evolve inside of it. And if the vibration is just too much, then they step aside for a while. But I can't tell you how often anyone who's ever stepped aside doesn't come back. They come back in. It is far more often than you would think that is even possible. Because there is a deep truth running through this conversation, and it is the truth to the bone and beyond with you. And that is why it has such a deep, heartfelt meaning to you when we have conversations such as what we're about to engage in. So I have a few minutes here to share with you the idea of that it is a new day. Now, today is Inauguration Day in the United States, and we have a new president. And many of you are celebrating and in great relief with tears of joy and open hearts and so on. And some of you, many of you, may also be disappointed or upset or having, a wobble in this moment. And I just want to share with you that anytime someone is in a leadership position and they are speaking of unity and possibility, and they are speaking of love and respect, and having a decorum that honors what has held us together as a united people in the United States for many, for centuries. Anytime you have someone stepping up in that conversation, it would serve you well to lean in. Even if politically you're not associated with who happens to be in office at this time, that isn't what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone who can lead by bringing people together. And anyone who even speaks of that versus having a tone of divisiveness or combativeness is going to take us into a more mature spiritual state as a people. And those of you that are watching us from around the world, chances are your country is going through or has already gone through this many times. The evolution of a country is the same as the evolution of an individual. And what we hope to claim at some point in our evolution is the ability to learn and to grow and to voice our opinions and to find our differences, but to find a way to meet in the middle of those differences, to find a way to peacefully join, to find the avenue to that common ground underneath particular values on particular topics at any given point in time. Ultimately, as an individual evolves, they have to go through that in their own lives, in how they handle themselves in relationship, or how they manage to build a community of their own, or build a business, or find a job that serves their true soul purpose, or finds a solution to a health condition. In everyone's evolution, they eventually have to surrender to a greater good, to a deep truth that is based in love. And I have to share with you, I cannot not say this, that there has not been enough love in the presence of the United States in the last recent years. There hasn't been enough love in the foundation of how we go about doing things. And I know this from a personal perspective, because there was a time in my life when it was pretty much about survival. It was pretty much about, hey, I've got great ideas and I really want to make a difference in the world. But there was an edge of protectivism that I had grown up through, because there were times in my life when I completely wasn't understood and wasn't accepted and was judged and an outcast, and it has an effect on you. And so what I know from the soulful perspective is that the effect that it has on you is what you asked for. It's what you wanted. You wanted to feel that resistance and that rub so that you would reach inside and find some version of yourself that you have not known before, that you have not been able to walk and talk in the flesh as that vibrational frequency. And I have to share with you that I am so blessed to have stayed with it enough, with the knowings that drop in, that come through me in these teachings, to lean in on a personal level and listen to what was being delivered and embody it and build the circuitry to live up to that teaching and to walk this talk. And so what I know from personal experience is that you do not get what you want by fighting for it in a forceful, edgy, contracted sort of way. It will never happen. Even if it happens temporarily, it won't be sustainable because the universe doesn't operate that way. There is a power that is unfolding, that is far greater than any shooting into any topic that the mind comes up with as a necessary step to make a difference in the world. Our greatest leaders have shown us how peace can change nations by sitting down, by conversation, by addressing it eye to eye, shoulder to shoulder, heart to heart. And so, if we truly want to have what it is that we're not having, I assure you that the solution from the bird's eye view and the multidimensional perspective is unify, find peace, find joy, find something good and uplifting in exactly what is before you. Because what is before you is what you requested at the bus stop. When you requested it at the bus stop, you wanted to know, how do I awaken? Do I awaken through forgiveness? Do I awaken through compassion? Do I awaken through the absence of something that I'm then to bring because I can see its necessity? Am I to be innovative? Is that how I awaken? The path doesn't matter. What matters is that you get to the place where you realize that you are creating your reality and that you are participating in a co-creation with billions of other people. And so, if we can allow the greatest power on earth to be the bond that we work with together, there is no stopping peace. There is no stopping freedom of voice and freedom of choice and freedom of love. There is no stopping that because it's based in the greatest power on the planet. The greatest, most magnetic and unifying energy that you can ever tap is to soften and be loving and be conscious and be clear and be sure and be available. Because when you are available, you can hear. And when you hear what another person is saying, you can hear that they are either offering solution in a peaceful manner or they are asking for help. They're crying for help. They might be defensive, they might be protective, they might have that edge that maybe all of us know or have known at some point in time. And if you see that, the solution isn't to fight back. The solution is to allow yourself to open your heart and show the way. To send your energy out and to connect with this person, which might be a little challenging if they're, pointing a finger at you, or worse yet, pointing a flagpole at you, or worse yet, pointing a gun at you, for goodness sakes. What we have to do is be proactive and bringing conscientiousness to the table, bringing consideration to the table, so that people who feel threatened with a voice have a place where they can speak, that we hear each other out and we find common ground, because there is no problem that cannot be solved. Because actually, from the highest dimension perspective, there is no problem. There is only evolution happening. And that evolution is based in the circuits that we build. We don't have to build those circuits by taking action with force and anger. In fact, the circuits that we will build will be for more of the same if we do it that way. If we stop and breathe deeper and deepen our hearts and breathe lower in our bellies and allow our breath to be landing in the planet, then Mother Gaia receives you and your consciousness and your magnifying intention of love. Love is thousands of times more powerful than the most positive thought that you could ever think. It's thousands of times more powerful even than forgiveness. So if you can just begin softening and allowing love to have a place to flourish inside of your system, it knows what to do. It will do the work. And if you allow that to be the guiding light or power or energy that takes you into conversations that you haven't been in before, that takes you into holding space for possibilities that you haven't been an active part of before, if it takes you into those spaces, you're being a beneficial presence on the planet. You will be leaving it better than you found it every single moment that you do something of the sort. Let me also say that it begins with self-love. Because the person who thinks that they have to fight and use force and be angry in order to get what they want, that reality is a reflection of a lack of self-love. And when there is a lack of self-love, everything seems reasonable to go and get it, to claim it, and to go out there and make it happen. And what we know from thousands of years of consciousness being handed down by the greatest teachers on the planet is that all of that is an illusion, that there is no such thing as the absence of love. We can push it out, squeeze it away, and contract ourselves to such a degree that we don't get to experience it. And when we do that for long enough, we think it doesn't exist. And then something rises up inside of us, and if we don't give it a pathway to rise with a reasonable voice and a logical, grounded approach to conversation, if we don't do that, the only choice it has is to burst up out of there and revolt. It isn't what we need. It isn't what we're here for. And it isn't going to work, ever. It never will. It is upon us right now, in this moment, to allow this to be a new day. No matter how you voted, or no matter how your disposition has been, no matter what country you live in, let this be a new day. Let every day, in fact, be a new day. And let it be the beginning of what you would have be true in the manner that you would love for it to be able to be true. And take action as if that was possible. I work a lot with the unified field, and I work a lot with infinite possibility, and I work a lot with awakening the humanity and the divinity within your lives, both. And to awaken the divinity inside of our humanity is one of the greatest gifts that we ever will experience. And in the process of all of the patients and the clients and the students and the doctors and the coaches and the teachers and the yogis and the scientists and the ministers, and in the crowd of all of it that I have worked with, I have to say that the one thing that bonds them together is when they know that what they're doing is making a difference, that it matters, that they matter. And when that becomes true for our entire conscious community, literally inside of the Energy Codes community, we have enough people that if you were willing to walk this every day, and allow it to be the guiding force in your life, and to allow love to matter before right or wrong, and to be inclusive instead of exclusive, and to take into consideration that you might be in the presence of someone who thinks and feels very differently from you, and to be available for them, and to lean in, and to open up, and to discover the value inside of every single human being that you cross paths with, and that you will ever cross paths with. When we act in that manner, we as this community size, we have the ability to impact the entire planet. We have the ability to impact the entire bandwidth of human consciousness. And for that, I feel so blessed that we have gathered in numbers enough that as we walk in this new day, every day, allowing possibility to be lovingly expressed, that when we do that, we truly are changing humanity and history. Because the future is now. It's right here. It is right now. And it is the day that we are to step differently into the world. To whatever degree you have already been loving and inclusive, to whatever degree you've been doing your own work and forgiving those things, to whatever degree that has occurred, there is more that you can surrender into that same project. There is more of you that can release and can soften. Because in that softening, that thing that rises up, the same energy that can cause a revolt, causes the most magnificent blissful, exalted state in consciousness. It is the exact same energy. It is but our free will choice of what to do with it that makes the difference of our life experience. So, it's been a joy to be with you here in our short answer, and if you'd like to delve in, we're going to do the masterclass in just a few moments at about 1:45. Actually, at exactly what time? They're going to tell me what time, and when we begin, tell me, on the half hour. In 7 minutes, we're going to be starting the masterclass, and in that moment, we're going to be delving into the conversations and the questions that you have. We're going to be answering some questions about vaccinations I know about, and a couple of other things that they've written in. I haven't heard the exact question, but I know some topics that were sent in recently. So we want to address those and other questions that you have. You'll have the opportunity to ask away, and we'll put them together for you in our traditional style of the masterclass. So I look forward to joining you at the half hour, which is 7:30 Eastern Time, in just a few moments. So if you're not part of the Gold membership, click on the link below and sign up for that, and it will allow you to do that membership free for the first 30 days. You can plug in to that and join us this evening on this most auspicious day. So, love and blessings to you all, and I'll see you next time on The Short Answer. Namaste.